Hello YouTube. Today we're going to do a brief recap on Friday night, August the 30th. We set up and got our scope all done, and we observed the blue moon Friday night, and made some videos Friday night on doing some of the setup and polar alignment. Really ran a good test through all the stuff that you know I made some of the videos on, and I just want to do a recap, kind of what I learned, and kind of talk about some of the issues that we ran into. One of the things that we ran into that really wasn't a big deal, but it did kind of hinder the night viewing process, was I broke a band clamp on the piece of garage seal, and the two clamps that I had holding to help me kind of aid in setting the telescope up and being able to turn it in the rings and stuff, so I don't have to clamp the rings down so tightly. I broke one of the band clamps. Well, I didn't break, the band clamp broke. So you know, it was a pretty cheap band clamp, but that was one of the issues that I ran into. The other issue that I ran into is the polar alignment setup that I'm doing. I'm not sure if I'm actually getting it just spot on and right. So I ran into an issue when I do the polar alignment, and I think that I'm set up nice and good, and I go to do the star alignment. The mount doesn't track to the stars good like I would expect it to, so to speak. So we're going to do a little research tonight. It's a nice, pretty clear sky out. Temperatures are pretty cool. Humidity's down. Tonight I'm going to drag the mount out and do a polar alignment and setup and all this stuff tonight, and kind of play with the polar finder and do some of the alignments. I'm not sure if it's so much that we're not doing the polar alignment right, or if I don't have the coordinates locked into my location correctly. There's several different things that could be off, so I'm going to try to play with that a little bit tonight and see what I come up with. Just do a little backside research, so to speak, on making sure that what I'm telling you guys out there is correct. And I feel like the polar alignment setup is right. I'm not sure if you know, just the mount isn't doing its calculations as far as the movements and stuff go. One thing that I am going to do, I'm not going to break out the 10-inch scope. I'm going to take my 4.5 inch, my 4.5 inch right there, and I'm going to put it on the mount, and I'm just going to use it just for the simple fact of not having to drag the big 10-inch scope and everything else out, and just run through some polar alignments, and do some fast star alignments, probably 2-star, probably do an easy alignment, 2-star, and then 3-star, and then slew to some objects to see if the movement is correct. The other thing that may be holding me up that I was thinking about earlier is I'm using a generic brand wall plug-in that has the interchangeable tips, and this mount really needs about 2.5 to 5 amps DC power, 12 volt, to really run full bore, you know, and get the most out of the motors and everything else. I'm using a 600 milliamp 12 volt setup on this wall plug because I didn't really want to, you know, it's fine for just slewing the mount around with nothing really on it, no real big weight. But at Friday night I was using that when I had all the weight on it, you know, 30 pounds of counterweight, and scopes weighing in about 35, 36, 37 pounds. So, you know, when time you put all that on there, that may have been some of the problem, was I just wasn't keeping enough power to the mount to really help it do its calculations and stuff. So tonight, that was one of the things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick that little 4.5 inch scope on there. The scope weighs 6 pounds. You know, I'll be honest with you, I don't even really need a counterweight to use it on this mount. So we're gonna put it on there and plug it in, do some polar alignments, and actually do some sighting and stuff, and just see how good this mount is really doing, and kind of recheck ourselves on our polar alignment setup that we're using. So that's the plan for tonight, and like I said, everything else worked really good. I'm still real happy with the investment that I got, And you know, it's just fine tuning and tweaking. You know, a plug-in for this scope is about 20 bucks, 30 bucks on eBay. Just haven't really had the money to go out and go buy one that I really need to do. I really need to get out and go buy a mount. The other thing I ran into Friday night was I need to invest some money in some eyepieces. You know, I've got the 140 millimeter eyepiece, which is absolutely great for looking at the moon. You know, it served its purpose well. I picked it up on eBay for about 80 bucks. And I mean, it was awesome to look through that. You know, it was like almost looking at a little round TV, you know. It's very easy to look through. The other eyepieces that I've picked up or gotten is just through a couple different scopes that I've had. And just, you know, just some cheap, you know, well, let me try this and see what this is like. That 10-inch scope, you really need to be investing your money on 2-inch eyepieces. Meade has just come out with a 2-inch eyepiece group that, you know, really is going to showcase that scope. You know, 9 to 14, 25 or 20 millimeter diameter 2-inch eyepieces. I mean, you know, they are expensive, but you know, the 2-inch format is, you know, after looking through that 40 millimeter 2-inch that I got, it is just awesome. You know, I can see a good, at only 54 magnification, I can see the entire moon in that thing in really a lot of detail. You know, and it was absolutely, that right there was worth the 80 bucks I'd have spent on it, you know. But that was the other thing I learned, is I really need to buy some better eyepieces to really get a lot more out of the scope and really showcase the scope some. So anyway, tonight that's the plan. I just want to do another recap and just kind of sum things up for this next video after coming off of Friday night, and just letting you guys know kind of what we did and what we come into. So tomorrow I may get the video out tonight and do a couple videos if I come up on some stuff that that would be really neat to kind of do a video on. But if not, I'll do another recap on what we found either tomorrow or maybe Friday. So anyway, happy trails.